Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. We're back with another episode of Smashy Business. I'm here with Richard Fitzgerald.
Hey, guys.
I'm Farah Makhlouf, and today we're going to be talking about a few things. UAE-based hospitality platform QStay secured a funding of $4.6 million. Impact BBDO founder Alain Khouri passed away. And Germany cancels the arrest warrant for Riad Salameh.
Thursday, 20th November. How's it going?
All good.
Did I say November? Where am I? It's June. God, my head's all over the place.
It's that kind of day. Okay, so ready to jump into our first story?
Let's do it.
Okay, so hospitality platform QStay secured a funding of $4.6 million. It was founded in 2020. There was obviously 1 year of COVID there, but they seem to be thriving more than ever. Yeah, this is basically a funding in a pre-Series A funding round. The company is managed and based here in Dubai. What else can I say about it?
What else is there to know? So basically, they're founded in 2020 by Arthur Karulin, Ekaterina, okay.
The names are
Alex,
really difficult.
Alec, Natalia, and so basically 4 founders. Sounds like 2 females, 2 males. It operates as a virtual hotel brand with 200 units. It also provides digital app-based access to nearby pools, beaches, gyms, and spas and guests in priority beachfront properties. A couple of cool things, like starting in 2020, you know, when this service mightn't have been thought of needed, you know, in terms of movement and travel. So fair play to them for sticking the course. QStay, I guess the clue is in the name. QStay raised 11.1 million to date. In 2022, they closed a debt round, an equity round of 6.5 million. I like seeing startups in the travel sector. The new funding will enable QStay to accelerate their growth and continue innovating in the hospitality sector. There's a few that spring to mind. The big one in India was Oyo Hotels. That guy, he lives here. You know, this sort of like having, you know, obviously we know of Airbnb, and there's a few like Maison Privé do a different sort of rentals things. But yeah, I guess this idea of having, as they said, virtual hotel brand.
What is a virtual hotel brand?
I think a virtual hotel brand is a bit like Oyo Hotels, if I get it right. So what they did is they went around and bought up hotels that weren't operating well, and they would sell the hotel rooms themselves. So who sells hotel rooms? Booking.com.
Right.
On Booking.com, the brands are on it. So the big brands are on Booking.com. So they're not a virtual hotel brand. They're an OTA. That's what they call these things, online travel agent. And then you have hotel management groups. So IHC, Marriott, all these groups. They, the local building owner will own the building, and they license the brand, so they're paid a management fee. For every brand you see around Dubai, they're all operators, they're management, they're hotel management. They don't own the real estate. So Oyo don't own the real estate, but they're basically virtual. So they're like the old model, but you know, a lot of criticism of Oyo is that, like, did they really help the struggling hotel in that seaside resort that couldn't fill its inventory, or did they kill them of their independent brand and try to make it virtual or whatever? So there's a bit of, the jury's out about whether this model really works, but obviously, you know, people need to sell their rooms. So if someone's offering you e-commerce and stuff like that. We had an interview with a guy who founded Shackle, which has a new system of booking direct, of checking in direct and skipping the...
Yeah, that's primarily what they focus on as well, and they call themselves the Airbnb superhost.
These guys?
Yeah. But it just makes me wonder, how does it differ from Airbnb? Like,
yeah, I think Airbnb definitely is peer-to-peer. So if your apartment is vacant and I want to stay there, Airbnb enables that transaction, whereas this one is B2C. So the business is either, you know, a building is a building. Is it residential or is it commercial? Does it have a hotel? If it has a hotel, then who's going to manage it? Do you manage it yourself? It's your own brand? Do you go to one of the multinationals, or do you now go with these guys? So yeah, it's an interesting space.
That's true. Watch that space, I guess.
Watch that space.
Moving on to our next story, Impact BBDO founder Alain Khouri has passed away. If you don't know, he's the founder of Impact, which is a basically revolutionary advertising marketing and communications company, and it's well established in the region with 40 years of experience. Alain Khouri did retire in 2011, but the company obviously remained very, very strong. It has a very strong background. They created campaigns that are very prominent in the advertising industry. You can, catch them and snap them a mile away. But yeah, basically the story is very unfortunate, but...
Yeah, there are a lot of tributes from the advertising industry. So Alain Khouri paid a tribute to him today as well. A pioneer, really, in a region that needed industry advertising pioneers. Impact BBDO, regional marketing. So BBDO is one of the groups of agencies like Ogilvy and TBWA in the US. And Impact was the one that they set up here in 1971. So full service, they won numerous awards. Cannes Line Advertising Festival, which is happening right now. The esteemed gentleman who's running it at the moment is Danny Richa. He wins lots of awards at different advertising events, as do they. They feature prominently at Dubai Links and other events like that. Their philosophy is the work, the work, the work. And interesting, Cannes Line have a whole section this year about the work. But I don't think we can underestimate. We talked about the Patchy founder, but especially in advertising, I don't think you can underestimate what a certain few people did, because a lot of people thank their jobs in this industry to these individuals, and they set them up in different countries at a time where the Middle East was going through a lot of turmoil. And yet, in the last 20 years, a lot of that has come into Dubai. But before then, it was in Lebanon, it was in Kuwait, it was places like that. But and they brought international credibility to advertising, but they did it as regional leaders. So, and I think, honestly, we're missing them now. We're missing the leaders to push back a little bit to the tech companies that are coming in here and hiring people in the commercial sales areas rather than doing regional Arab work per se. And I think what Alain Khouri and others of his peers did was create an industry that was very regional but connected to the international world. And a lot of people will owe their careers to the systems and the industry that these pioneers built. So Allah Yerhamo, second day in a row. May he rest in peace. And it is in the future. I think there will be more material documented on these advertising pioneers in the region because they built the foundations.
Definitely, especially in this situation, deserves a lot of recognition, and it doesn't seem like this company experienced a drop, thankfully. So they're doing pretty well. Moving on to the next story. This one made headlines. Basically, Germany canceled the arrest warrant for Riad Salameh. Riad Salameh is Lebanon's former central bank governor. He won the lawsuit against Munich's prosecutor general, and he issued an arrest warrant against him and circulated it into Interpol. So on June 10, 2024, so 10 days ago exactly, the 7th Chamber of the Munich General Court cancelled Salameh's arrest warrant issued in Germany on May 15, 2023, and defrayed the state treasury to cover the case costs. So, case basically closed. Just to give a little bit of background, Mr. Salameh was being investigated in Lebanon and at least 5 other European countries for having funneled more than $330 million from the Banque de Lebanon with the help of his brother Raja. Now, this to me begs the question, why would a Lebanese former central bank governor be investigated by 5 European countries?
Yeah, it does. I mean, he's definitely been the figure here who's associated with what people are calling a pyramid scheme. And, you know, a lot of people will know that there was incentives to invest your money in Lebanese banks to get high interest rates in return. A lot of people got burnt on that. Look, Lebanon's gone through many different difficulties as a nation, and one particularly in terms of the currency and the devaluation. We've seen stories of banks, lots of things going on there.
A lot, yeah.
A lot going on there. You know, on one level, like it is a valid question. There's obviously a lot of detail to this story.
Definitely.
You know, but governing, you know, someone who's been charged with arrest after 30 years as a finance minister, you know, you wonder. It doesn't sound like everything is perfect, but also he's been cleared. So, you know, sometimes I feel like, you know, when things go wrong, there's scapegoats made. Like I see that Dr. Fauci guy is up in courts in the US and everyone's blaming him for the pandemic. And it's kind of like, cool, well, you are the scapegoat, but maybe you did something wrong. So I think it's, you know, we're only, you know, doing journalism here and telling stories and content. There is a role for the law and there's a role for the courts. And I think you have to respect that in terms of deciding whether someone has done something wrong or not. But clearly, you know, I would say that the Lebanese people and others have a right to say that funds were misused in that country, because if funds weren't misused, they might be like Dubai, and they're not, are they?
No, that's true.
That's for sure.
Well,
there we go. Three interesting stories today. One about hotels, one about advertising, and one about finance ministers.
And there you have it.
You're loving business, aren't you?
Trying. I'm dipping my toes very easily into the space for smashy business.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate you filling in. We're still missing a few bodies on the show, and
holiday vibes still.
Holiday vibes, yeah. We'll be back in full force next week, but I hope you enjoyed the episode, and we will have another one tomorrow morning.
Yes, come back tomorrow, same time. See you then.
Same place. See you then.